Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I've been doing a lot of rural scenes in the countryside here in the UK, but today I'm going to have a go at this nice picture which was sent to me by a friend of mine who's currently in Tenerife, and it's a beautiful little urban scene here, which you can see here. Definitely urban, and bright sunlight coming down here from left to right. So I've got to get these nice shapes, these palm trees. But look at this lovely building here with the blue and the receding. So I've got to get the perspective right, as the line's vanishing point is off here somewhere. So and getting the people right is a tricky thing. So it'll be impressionistic, so I won't be photorealism by any means, but I just want to capture something of this lovely lovely scene here. I've sketched it out to some degree anyway, and started to lay in some of the colours. So I think I'll get on with that. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see the top there a bit better. So let's get, well, I've got the sky in, you can see that, and I've done a bit of a gentle wash on the front of this building, and these lighter tones here. So I'm just going to see if I can improve on some of the tones in the buildings. I think that blue could be a little intenser. So let's get on with that. It's a nice, fairly lightish blue, but I think on mixture of a little bit of cobalt blue to intensify it a little bit. So I'll lift up my palette to show you. Got cerulean blue here, cobalt blue, and I've got ultramarine over here. But I'm just going to go with this fairly intense colour here. And let's sweep it in a little bit. And try not to obscure the camera. But let's see what we can do with that. Very intense colour, isn't it? Somewhat more than I need, really. But it will certainly dry out. Dry a lot lighter. So I think I'm going to just wash it down here. Got some nice windows with some metal balustrades, ironwork along here. So let's just wash it in gently here. I'll put a bit of water and just thin it out a little bit. Don't want it too intense. Right. That's a little better. Right down here. Right. There's a couple of doors there which are dark. Open door really, but the interior is very dark. So I'll get some of that in. Going to try. There's different tones along this edge here. Let's try and do that. And I think yes, I think I need to darken up some of these elements down here from about here. It's much darker. The windows, I think they're giving in the darkness. Just gentle dabs, really, to give me some impression. In fact, I think I'm going to make this whole building a little bit darker. Gentle wash there, because I want to contrast with this. You need lots of contrast in watercolour for it to read properly. And darker down in these areas as well. I want to try and paint around some of these pedestrians that I put in. I want to drop some interesting colours in. Very colour, and down at the far end we have a much redder terracotta sort of colour. So I've got a little bit of light red here. So this building here, much darker. And I think also elements of this were as well. Because this is the shadow side. The sun is coming from left to right, so I'll be putting shadows in this direction. These pedestrians in a moment or two. But let's just give some darkness, so we've got some form there, and I'm going to go a little redder, so I've got a bit of light red, which is, I think, will do the job. I might drop a bit of crimson alizarin, cadmium red, to make it a little brighter. Yes, let's go a bit more with that. It was, yes, that'll do it. Was here in the distance. And there are other bits of red as well, I've noticed, over here in the distance, or in this far, not that far away, but parts of the buildings down here are red as well. So we've got a nice contrast up against this building as well. So I had to simplify it somewhat, because there's just so much going on. So I'm just trying to get some of the elements that are obvious to me. Right. keep some lines of perspective as well. And the top of this area is a nice terracotta colour. So I'll just give that a little hint there. And we've got our palm trees here. They've got lots of little leaves and shape to it, so kind of hint at that. And also some of these arches, we can get some of those darks in now. Just sweep it in. Right. And there's a gateway there. Let's get some neutral tone, some Payne's grey going. Mix it with a little brown. I don't want it too black, but yes, we've got quite a dark arch here. I think we'll just go with that. And always darken up if we need it. As we go. And we've got other areas of dark as well along these piece of architecture. Darkness there, and they come in here too. Yes, I think when it's drier I need to do that. Let's get some tone in here on this pavement. Try and blot out some of those whites at the moment. Try to avoid our pedestrians if we can. So I should put those green masses in. Let's get some of the green in for these big old trees here. So I've got a small flat brush here, number 10. Yes, I've just noticed that this has a palm tree, and this top of this big old trunk is going here. I'm going to deal with that in a minute. So let's try and keep the form of it. Suggest, and here, this is our classic palm tree. Its fronds and leaves sticking out like this. So, got that one in. We'll start on it. And we've got more in. Well, let's get our big old tree in here for a start. This is a really dominating to some extent this picture. So let's get something to mark it in. I think I'll vary the green, a bit of sap, which is, I know I'm going to thicken it up with a bit of hookers. There's this one is also a palm tree there. This one is not a palm tree, this one here is. So we can emphasize that, try and keep its shape. That was one I've got to put in these bits a bit later. But let's get this sorted. It's coming, obscuring all this. So I want to try and vary it as best I can. They're just big masses of colour. So I'm using some hookers here, some burnt umber as well, to give me darker masses, which I need to do. Comes down like this. Yes, I think we've got some more here. Got to get this tree here. There's masses. Must obscure a bit of that trunk because you wouldn't see straight lines on it. Not on its entirety anyway. Let's try and make sure we've got something that reads right. Right, let's leave that for the moment, I think. I've got to squint my eyes and see whether I've really got my darks in the right place. Yes, it's a bit of right. How does that go? I think I could Try and put a bit more colour in some of this face of this building. So I'm going to go slightly pinky actually. Let's get a little bit of red. Cadmium red. A little bit of Chinese white. And yes, I think that might give a bit more variety and interest. Let's just give it a gentle wash down there. Not too much. And perhaps here, building goes up behind here. Some texture. And what about, need to put some colour here. Right. I think now we should try and get a bit of detail in with a smaller brush, but before we do that, I'm going to get along here. Let's get a little bit of blue, I think, and a bit of Payne's grey. Make a bit of a little grey there. A gentle wash. I need all the same tone on this foreground area, so I've got to vary that. Let's get a bit of shadowy colour, so I'm going to put a bit of cadmium there, little crimson alizarin, ultramarine. That would give me a bit of a shadowy colour, sort of purpley colour. So I'm making a concoction of violet, cadmium red, ultramarine, crimson alizarin. I think I should perhaps use a slightly bigger brush to give me something of a whole bit more water. So I'm going to use this little quill, little there. So let's sweep this in because it's coming all along here, this shadowed area. Can look at my reference again. Yes, it's fairly extensive. Comes right across here. Let's try and do that. And in here, finishing about here. There's a little bit under the, so say the sunlight is coming left to right. So these buildings are casting some shadow. And you can get a little grayer tone in this foreground area too. I think we need to dull that down a little bit, different parts. These pedestrians will have a shadow cast from their figures as they walk, but I'll deal with that in a minute once we've got them in anyway. Yes, this is far too white. Let's just, I'll try and put some lines to illustrate the perspective from the paving slabs that we've got. So, right, let's go to a smaller brush. I've got a little bit more control with. How about this? I've got number 4 round here. Go find Dalaroni. These are lovely brushes. If you need some brushes, got to consider those. Let me think. I need to put in that palm's form, its trunk there. So let me think, what colour am I going to do that? It's set against the sky, so it's going to be quite dark, but not too dark, because I don't want to draw undue attention to it. Well, this one is, I've got to get this one in. This one. Right. Let's go with that for the moment. Which I need to, probably I could firm it up a little bit at this level down here. Obviously thicker. I think it's the bottom. And let's beef it up a little bit. It's going behind that pedestrian there. Let's put a bit of texture into our palm tree there. Well, the palm, this is a different tree. I'm not sure what this one is. So this is a view of Tenerife. I'm not quite sure where this street's in is. I think my friend said it's somewhere in the north of the island. So all you tourists can probably tell me if you recognise it, put it in the comments. Right, I think I'm going to get that archway a bit darker too. I think we need that dark here. Add more contrast. Let's do that. Can probably, when it's drier, I could probably put some ironwork in there, which I think it has. The gate area, probably gated. Right, leave that. Here is a dark area too. A little arch there. Put that in. Little architectural features here. This is a balustrade here. So we'll try and show that. And along here, these are food trucks, I think. Little street food. That one had a little illustration on it. Again, there's an arch there. Archway. And there's a food truck here as well, or a stall of some sort. So we'll try and see if we can put somebody working in there perhaps. And the other parts of the architectural illustration too. Could do that. It's a street lamp here. So these fine details, a certain amount of them can make it come alive. Got some floodlights on there, I think. Probably lights up this building in the evening, maybe. I'll try and add some illustration here to make it read, some architectural detail. Trying to suggest we've got a building here. As I said, that was let's put a different colour in here. I don't get any clues from my photograph. I think it was dark blue. Elements of it anyway. And let's Payne's grey, bit of cadmium, and yes, I could dark. I don't want it too dark, actually. Right. Archway there. Bit of negative painting there, painting round, and then that will show up the food stall. Let's vary the colour a little bit. So introduce some interest. There. I think they had some red in some parts. Yes, I think on there, one point. And there's other red structures down here, actually. Not quite sure what they were. From the photograph, it's not so clear. But let's go with something red to help illustrate it. And I've got lots of, probably some portico, I think. Right. Now, let us see. Yes, there was definitely red along there. Something showing. Right. Now let's get a little bit of more strength in this trunk of this old palm tree. So I'm making a mixture of colours here. I'll give me a bit of strength to it. Right, that's showing a little better. Why don't I see if we can get some of these balustrades in, some of these architectural features. A little bit of, well, that's dark in there. I remember seeing that. Or from the photograph. I haven't actually been here. This is yeah, this is all dark here. This is all balustrade ironwork. And this one has got, I can see windows. So let's try and get some of those in. Just touch them in. A bit of dark tone. They've got dark along here, the frame there, and again some iron work. Right, there's a little plaque of some sort there. Some of my windows could do with a little bit of more definition. So interest on this edge to find this building a little bit better. Now let's get that dark in here. This was open door, I think. It's all dark inside. Again, trying to paint around our shoppers. Right. Okay. This better definition there. Try to simplify it. And oh, I must get this. It's got a lovely bull in here. So he's pretty reddish colour. I think we'll give him a little light red, a bit of umber. But I want him to stand out. So here he is, with his horns there. His body here. I think he's like the bull in the bull ring in Birmingham, something like that. Rightio. This buildings here, I can give that a bit of colour there for that door. Actually, I've done it dark, but closer inspection, I can see it's red in parts, and also the top element of this. You can do lots and lots of detail. You can endless detail actually, but it's knowing when should you stop. I think we'll get our little food truck there. Let's leave it there. I think we could, with a fine detail pen, we could put in some character perhaps. I've got a curve along here, where should I line that? There is as good as anywhere, I suppose. This will help take our eye into the picture. Give us a sense of direction. I think I could bring out that shape more of these iron. As I said, I can do that with a fine pen. Let me think. What about putting some different colour into these columns to give some shape to them a little bit of ochre. That will help them stand out a little bit. So the building left in here. Perhaps we could give some more colour here too. Right. Oh, these little windows, I must get those in. They're very interesting, nice oval shape. I could do that. I think I need to define this bit of this building a little bit better. Comes out like that. Sort of architrave sort of thing. On a building, I don't know, it's probably not called that. But and I'm going to give from, oh, this has got a different tone along here, along this edge, and on the other side down here. So I'll leave that like that. Help it read a bit better. I noticed some of these. I've got those balconies. So let's try and hint at that. Right. Now the tricky part is getting a lot of these pedestrians in. So you can only put it off for so long. So let's crack on with that. Going to have to vary the colours of some of our people. Let's give this person a blue top. People, we can just do some illustrations to hint at it, vary it as we go. I've dropped some different colours in these sort of outlines. So so we can get some individuality. Somewhere along the line there was a stall there, stall holder. So again, we can just hint. We'll drop different colours of these as we go. I say this is just a dark tone to let me lay out the shapes for the time being anyway. Got her shopping bag here on what she's bought. So many people in the street here. I've just been a bit selective to try and get some of the shapes. Now we need to, let's give them some colour. What should we go with? What should we, let's give this lady here some yellow trousers, perhaps, yeah. And I've seen all sorts of colours in the crowd here. The jeans on. Also, maybe we want to give them some shorts. It is Tenerife, after all. I think some yellows. It's a nice, bright, summery colour, isn't it? Somebody ought to have those. Red tops. Let's give something green. Oh, that's a bit strong. Let's Now this is a little bit drier. I'm using this skinnier brush to give me some of the kind of shape, fronds that are unique to the palm trees. Good. We can do that. Now let's get back to these people again. Got so many different colors we could choose. Let's drop a little bit of orange in to try and orange yellow. Try and suggest different flesh tone, perhaps a little bit of red. Colors. Right. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to stop here a little bit, have a little break, and then probably do a little bit more work on the fine details. So I'll be back. Well, this is my completed picture, and you can see I've done put in the figures, tried to give them a little bit of definition, some shadows, brightened up on the colours. Food truck improved that a little bit of shadow under the clouds there, but generally try to tighten up on certain areas which need something, but not to put too much detail, otherwise it becomes overworked, which is always a mistake. So I hope you liked it. If you do, push the like button, and if you like to subscribe, and then you're notified automatically when I do more work, which is encouraging. Anyway, thanks for watching.